Hello, and welcome to Zombie Lectuals. I'm Zombiel. So glad to be re-recording this audio. Was a fantastic month working on this project, and it's all gone. All of it's gone. I still have all of the videos and everything, that's great, but all the work I did in editing and refining and tweaking, it's all gone. So this is gonna be an overview.
Over here. Just you and me.
It's time to wipe her face away. Removing the factory paint gives me a fresh canvas to work with. I'm using acetone. I absolutely hate the headband that was permanently mounted on her head at the temples. The little plastic tabs make it look cheap, and as a kid I hated when dolls had some garish accessory that had to be cut off to be removed. I chop off her hair at the root since I may use it for a different project. This part was actually pretty fun. I never cut my doll's hair off when I was a kid. It just wasn't me. Now that the hair was trimmed down, I used pliers to loosen the roots. For my first doll, I want to get the feel for each step. I use a tip I learned from Delightfully's channel.
Knowledge.
A dip in hot water to loosen the glue and soften the plastic. Now I can pull those hair plugs out with ease. I'm using white hot glue to build up the face. I got mine from a store called Daiso Japan. Having clear, white, black, and red has made it easier to color match for specific projects. My plan is to build up the forehead, cheeks, and lips. I build up layers and blend them with the muzzle of the glue gun, before letting them cool. Putting too much hot glue on at once will melt what I've already laid down, so I work slowly. Looking at the form of the face, the ears need to stand out a little bit more. Now that I can see the form coming together, I build up the forehead and blend the edges, making sure to cover the hair plug holes since the temples will be visible. To complete the face, I resculpt the chin, and I'm pretty happy with what I have here, so I'm going to seal it with Mr. Super Clear.
Ready to have some fun?
Now that I have a few layers of clear coat, I'm ready to start adding layers of color. First, I sharpen some of the pencils I plan to use. I use a yellow pencil to build up the iris. I draw in the eyebrows and the shape of the lips. Most of this will be painted over later, but it will help guide me. I won't be using the eye shape that I'd sketched earlier before the facial resculpt. I want him to have a more wide-eyed stare. Now it's time to paint. I give the teeth a base coat of white. While working in acrylic on a small scale, I like to use a toothpick. It gives me a lot more control over where I lay color, and also makes cleanup a whole lot easier. The face paint took me a few days. This dude staring at me from my desk was pretty eerie. I want some thick black eyeliner on this guy. I'm actually seeing it come to life. I love it. Oh, and that's my Greek salad. #fresh. Follow me on Instagram. I used some dark olive green on the outside of the iris. I used my needle tool since this part was very intricate. This is my favorite way to clean up. Boom, done. Now I get to chop up one of my cheap eBay wigs. Like I said in part 1 of this series, I never work from a vessel that holds my product. I always use another container. That way, if it spills, you don't lose everything. If you contaminate it, you haven't ruined your entire stock of something. I use this especially with glue and especially with resin. The first thing I do when mounting the hair is make an anchor. So I set up one lock of hair and set it to dry overnight. I'm going to speed up this next part of the process. It took several days of checking in with it 2 or 3 times a day and just adding hair. I want to try this method of applying hair the next time I plan to make strips and then mount them onto the doll in layers. But the color of this wig is amazing for this doll, and it'll give me some much needed experience for later. Now that I have something for the hair to hang on to, I can add a few more layers. Since the hair is going to be styled up, I wanted to start at the crown. If I wanted the hair to be laying down, I would start at the back of the neck. This process took the longest, and I started editing part 1 while I was still adding layers. Finally get to style this thing. I used an electric razor to trim off the longer hair, and then switched to scissors once I have a more uniform length. This hair application was an amazing learning experience. Although it's very thick, I actually really like how it turned out.
And now, for something very special.
That belongs in a museum.
I achieved this effect by running a tube through the doll's head from the mouth to an opening behind the left ear, which I can access via perfume syringe. I use a mixture of hand sanitizer and water, and I was able to bring this effect to life without damaging the outfit details. I am so glad to be finished with this project, especially after pushing through some setbacks. I use that as an opportunity to sharpen my editing skills and put more work into this video. I really appreciate the people who commented on part 1. That motivated me to push forward. I loved creating this doll. I learned something new with every step, and I'm already making plans for my second one. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe. Remember to press the bell icon so you'll be alerted when I post next, and you can reach out to me on social media linked in the description down below.
My enthusiasm came back.